Hi, welcome to another episode of Interior Design with Rae, bringing you tips and tutorials for your home renovation journey. So today I'm going to show you this completed 4-room resale HDB apartment in Tampines. All the works have been done, have been completed, and my client is going to move in soon. Today there'll be a professional cleaning of the place, and after that they will arrange to move in. I think should be in a few days time. So without further ado, let me show you what I have proposed. Okay guys, so right now I'm at the main entrance, the main door. So once you enter, the living and dining is a nice squarish layout. So you can see everything, right? The sofa is there. The dining table is going to be tucked against this credenza. And on the right here is a low shoe cabinet. Of course, with a recess at the bottom, so you can place your slippers and everyday wear. And over here is a low bench with storage. All these are drawers with storage. And you can see that this is a whole row of storage cabinet with a recess in for the wall mount TV. So all these are storage cabinet where the handle is actually at the bottom here. Right, it's a recess handle. So at the bottom, they are all drawers, and the thing that I want to show you is how I designed this feature wall for the recessed TV, which is the wall-mounted TV. Because right now my client is going to buy those TV bracket which can swivel, so you can pull it out and you can move to any direction that you want. So with that in mind, I have catered quite a deep space here. This is about 250 mm. With that swivel bracket, you can always pull out and try to flush with the edge of the door here. And how to install the TV if the gap here is just nice, right? It's about the size of the TV with just a 20 mm gap around it. So I've told my carpenter to just do, this is a full door here. So when it's open up, you can see that it has this cutout, the shape of the TV recess, and the fluted glass panel. Because this one covers up the unsightly devices here with the power socket at the back. So both doors are the same. And once it's closed, you can't really tell that it's actually 2 panel doors. Of course, on top is still some storage. But at the bottom is storage, but is a full panel door. The reason why I had to link this cutout door with the bottom panel is because of the strength. Very important, because if you just have this cutout like a C, and then this framework will be very weak, and then it might warp along the way, and it might even warp during the installation or even before the installation. So we discussed, and end of the day, we decided to have a bigger panel at the bottom so it holds the shape better. After it's installed, at least you can see that everything flushes nicely without any warpage. So to the left of this feature wall are still some storage. This is where I have hidden the Netlink truss terminal on this side here, with all the data points and the power points here. So all these are removable shelving. And over here is actually just 2 doors where you can open up, and then this is actually like a mini writing table. My client is going to use this for her laptop. So I've done a pull-out tray at the bottom. When you close the doors, basically they look part of the entire storage feature wall. Another interesting part that I want to show you is this one. This is the door to the storeroom. So originally there was a storeroom. I hacked it away and I flushed the storeroom door with the cabinet door. I think it looks much better this way, so that you have this entire paneling rather than you have a separate storeroom with a door. So coming to the dining area, you can see that this side credenza has got two power points here. So basically the dining table that is going to be bought off the shelf is going to be placed against this side credenza, and then it stretches up about 1.6 meter. Okay, so at 1.6 meter is almost aligned with the center of the TV. Okay, so from here to the left is about center, and then of course you can put two chairs and maybe one chair at the far end here. So just to mention a little bit on the curtain pelmet. Okay, this is an added on curtain pelmet recently, so I haven't got it painted, but my painter is coming soon. You can see that this is a side panel with the bottom, okay, being flush with the existing beam on top here. So the space here is about 120 mm. So 120 mm allows you to have just one layer of curtain. It can be a day curtain, it can be a night curtain. So usually in this case, I will advise my client to use a day curtain but slightly thicker. Okay, so you still allow some light to pass through, and at the same time you have all the privacy that you need. So for the ceiling design, it's a very clean, straightforward design. At the entrance part, it's a drop ceiling, and it goes all the way until it flushes with this door line here. At the side here is just some simple cove lighting with a LED strip inside. Okay, let's take a look at the common bathroom. Okay, so I think from my previous video, you have already watched how I created a shower area for the common bathroom. Okay, and also a vanity cabinet that is recessed out into the kitchen. Okay, because initially this whole bathroom was really narrow. There's basically no space for a vanity cabinet, and if you shower, everything will be wet. Do watch my previous video. Okay, so what I've done is, this is a swing door that goes in, and there's a shampoo niche here. Okay, the shower is here, overhead shower, the hand shower. Okay, it also acts as a overhead shower. So these are all clear glass shower screen door, and the WC remains at this location. So all these are the boxing up. So before you enter into the kitchen, there's this row of cabinetry. Okay, so these are two sets of writing desks being concealed inside these 4 pocket doors. Okay, so my client is going to purchase her own writing table, and she's going to remove these 2 shelvings here, and then she's going to insert her writing table in here. That explains why there's a LED light outside here for the table. These are 2 pocket door sliding into the side here. So same here, this is also 2 panels sliding. Okay, the configuration is the same. So I've also concealed the master bedroom door together with these 2 sets of cabinet. So here it is. So from outside, when you close the door, everything flushes very nicely. My client chose to use this lever handle, which of course it shows that it's actually a door from the outside. So then I chose a more sleek kind of design. Okay, this is a stainless steel lever handle with a keyhole just at the end here. So it doesn't have a separate keyhole here, which I think is a little bit more messy. Okay, so with this is a very clean look. And at the back is a floor magnetic door stopper. Okay, it holds the door. The latch here is to lock the door. Okay, the red color is locked. This is unlocked. So once you enter into the master bedroom, I've designed a simple headboard. Okay, okay, with one side table. She might want to add one more later. She will let me know. And on top there's this LED strip light. There's a 3-door wardrobe over here. Try to maximize the space. So all these door frame, including the other 2 common bedrooms door frames, they are all customized by my carpenter, so they all look the same. So over on this side here, okay, let me just close the door. This is a panel which is actually behind is that cabinet, okay, and there's some storage here. There's a dresser table with a mirror. There's some storage here. The reason is because there's aircon piping behind. So in order not to waste the space, I had my carpenter do up this as a storage. So this dresser connects to a low chest of drawers. So the bed frame is a king size bed frame. Okay, you might be wondering how come it's so low. This is before the mattress. So once you put the mattress over, it's going to be like a bench height or a chair height, which I think that's the most comfortable height that you can go for a bed frame. So let's take a look at the master bathroom. So inside here, it was really tight in the first place. It didn't have a concealed shower area. It didn't have a vanity cabinet. So what I did was to carve out this vanity cabinet for her, and also a shower area. So this shower area, the door has to open up this way, and then you go in, and then there's this bench here to sit down, and shampoo niche here. Okay, all these are concealed pipings inside this calcium silicate box up. So of course you don't cover the top hung window, so this is partially covered. The other side here, if I show you the vanity mirror, is still not covered, and I mean, this is something that you don't cover, so you can actually access or to clean the glass. But once the door is closed, okay, you can see that everything is covered up nicely and neatly. Okay, so over here, you can shift the WC, so the WC remains at this location. So all these are all the boxing up of the existing pipings. Okay, let's take a look at the kitchen. I've explained previously how I make this kitchen into a dry and a wet kitchen. Okay, so this is the dry kitchen with the pantry area, sink, and a space for the vacuum robot. Okay, so over here, there's a grommet hole at the side for the water pipes to go in and out. And then not forgetting the slot for the vacuum robot to go back to this space. And of course, to divide this space, you need a door. So this is a 2-panel slim profile sliding door. So this will segregate the dry and the wet kitchen. So it leans on this wall here, which is the recess wall for the vanity. So all these are built up wall. And over here will be the cooking, right? This is the stove area. Let's show you the lights here. So over at this side here, there's a small cabinet. Okay, there's a base and the warm-up cabinet. Over here will be the recess ovens. Okay, and there's a small space here with a pull-out tray. And over here will be the rubbish chute. Okay, the rubbish chute is very challenging because my client doesn't want to hide everything into a corner cabinet, because you can see that this is one row here and then this is one row. So she didn't want that. So what I had to do was to make sure that this door, when you open, it doesn't hit this side cabinet. So you can see the rubbish chute. And this door, when you open, it has to be almost 180 degree. So this hinge is a different hinge. Okay, so it can open more than 90 degree. Then from here, you can easily access the rubbish chute. Okay, so at the back here, there's also a set of sliding door. Okay, this is another set of the sliding door here. that is being mounted under this existing beam. This is a beam that I created for my client. Inside here is a metal beam. I think if you watch my other video, you will see this, how I construct this beam. Okay, so behind will be the laundry area with a wall mounted basin. Okay, just a simple tap. There's a base here for her pails. So my client wanted to have a little bit more open kitchen. So in that sense, I hack away this part of the wall so that the airflow is better. And also you can actually see through from here. The original kitchen entrance is a little bit narrow. Okay, this is the max. And of course, with this wall being opened up, I think it feels better. Even if you are at the kitchen here, I think it feels more spacious as well. Okay, so I hope that you have learned something today for your own renovation. Continue to watch all my other videos, and I see you soon in my next one. Take care.